Our final night of round robins is upon us for the Overwatch Career Fall Series, and tonight we'll decide where the last few teams will place within the playoffs. So, Pap, these matches are crucial tonight to try and get an easy ride through the playoffs bracket next weekend.
They sure are, Apara. And man, after yesterday's matches, we're still in that cooling off period. We had a couple of easy ones, but also a couple of really close ones, and some returning faces will be in today's matches, especially Dreamers as well.
Yeah,
they're upon us once again.
Now, last night, may have spread some misinformation on the internet. Maybe did a cheeky little overconfidence claim. How could I? It turns out I'm not as good at maths as I thought I was, which I didn't think I was very much in general. But Dreamers are actually still having a chance to not be that top seed if J&GK can 3-0 them. Meanwhile, there's something crazy that could happen over on Group A, Pap, if you want to cover what could behold us if Revival 3-0 Panthera.
So, if Revival 3-0's Panthera, we have a three-way tiebreaker, and that will have to be determined in an offline...
We think.
Let's
not
it's some more misinformation for chat. Just Pap and I throwing things. Pap and I, sure. Me, myself, and I'll take the blame. How's that done? Spreading misinformation. But yeah, a potential three-way tie, and they'll have to go into another couple of matches to see who the victor will be.
So yeah, I mean that would be a crazy world we lived in if the bottom three teams ended up in a three-way tie, both winning one match, losing three, and then also all being down 5 maps. That is like the stars aligning, you know.
For FM especially, because like FM were completely out, and then all of a sudden, as you said, the stars have aligned. Jupiter's come out of nowhere and done FM a solid, and we could potentially see Panthera, FM, and Revival go head-to-head again.
Man, what a fun match that would be, whether we get to see it live or not. Either way, that would be an intense matchup.
Three teams, one match. Yeah. Going at it. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah. And there is, of course, one other match that we can talk about very shortly, because we're going to jump in and look at that overview. Of course, as I said, today is our last day of that round robin, and then the top 3 seeded teams will go into playoffs to try and win this full series of Contenders Korea.
And then whoever is in the top 3 will, of course, go into playoffs, which we will be seeing. I think not quite next week, but a week after. I think they have a little bit of a break in between to have a little bit of a respite. We've been playing a lot of games against each other, and also be able to watch the APAC finals as well that will be on, see what they cook up. And it'll be really interesting. These are the best of the best after 2 weeks of back and forth in this round robin.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. Those playoffs, I think, are going to be quite intense. I mean, with the current teams that are sitting in the contention for playoffs, especially Group B, 3 very strong-looking teams. If Panthera confirm their spot in the playoffs as well, Panthera can finally enter into some kind of redemption arc from having quite a struggle of that first week. We could see them come through playoffs and come out on top, like we were sort of hoping and expecting from Panthera. You know, we have high standards for Panthera because they're meant to be one of those sort of top elite teams.
Panthera, the past couple of Korean contenders that you and I have covered have done so well, but to see the middle of the pack, and with the chance of having to again go into some more matches, however, that would require some very specific obstacles to be passed. But as we can see, PokerFace at the top, and if PokerFace 3-0 their opponent's rival, that will make them the only people to completely sweep through, except for O2 Blast. They got 3-1 at one point, so this will be the first one this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, this year, but if PokerFace 3.0, they
Zero.
will be...
Wrong one.
Yeah,
I was looking at the wrong notes. You're right. There it is right there. They do 0. But 0, that is going to be a really, really tough opponent to get over, of course. They've been playing so well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, PokerFace are looking good to be able to be that team this year to perfect a season. And how exciting would that be? Being able to go through a full season of Contenders without without losing a map series. That would be crazy.
Yeah, whoopsie, just misplaced a map series. But no, PokerFace have looked so strong with whoever they've been against, whether it was Panthera in week 1, which they completely 3-0'd, but that was before, as Paulsable was saying, they read the patch notes, and Panthera so far have been doing really well, but that will come later. It is XERO versus PokerFace to start us off, and as we see a lovely match preview, Invincibles. XERO is the only team that stands between PokerFace and a perfect group stage.
Man, that would be such a way to end out 2024 Contenders in a sense. Having a team perfect their round robins. Obviously, technically, playoffs could break apart PokerFace's 3-0 run, but yeah, for round robins being 3-0'd, that would be incredible for PokerFace to manage to get through all of that.
But on the other side, though, think of like XERO. Yes, they haven't had the cleanest run. They've got 1-3-0 against Revival. But other than that, it has been your 3-1s. And then FM nearly came back for that 3-2. So close. But now XERO are up their toughest opponents yet. Can they pull it through with this starting lineup of... I mean, if Jaywu and Kilo weren't the starting DPS, I don't know who else you'd want there. Absolutely killers attack with the tank, and then Hyun and Crescent will be in their backline.
Yeah, I mean, XERO have certainly made some good work with this with this team, FM started to break them apart a little bit, which begs the question of if FM can almost force a reverse sweep. Will XERO be able to hold up against PokerFace? Will they be able to break through potentially the strongest team in our Contenders full series?
It's important also to keep in mind both of these teams are very good at control. Just having a look here, none of them have dropped a control map as of yet. So these two going head to head on control first. And there's PokerFace with Proud and Valentine DPSing. And then Peppy, our MVP player from yesterday, is back. And Lego and Simple, of course, are there as well. So oh man, it's tough for XERO, but I do have faith. I reckon they will be able to pull it out. We were talking mountains yesterday, and I wouldn't say this is quite Everest, but it's certainly one that you'd be pretty tired to get up on your walking legs.
Listen, I mean, if Pepe can just fortify again and not be moved, that will be devastating for XERO. I think XERO are definitely going to put up a good fight against PokerFace, no matter what. XERO are certainly that team that's close enough to take on PokerFace head on, and I'm really excited to see how they try and break apart PokerFace's very solid defensive lineup.
Hey, it's Lijiang Tower first, our favorite control map, I'd like to point out. And that's, I suppose, I'm wondering why they don't want to lead with Muse for PokerFace if we are expecting to be a little bit more closer quarters for the Zarya. But, Peppy, we have seen a brilliant Sigma come out, some Orisa as well from them too. So that will... It'll be interesting what kind of composition they want to run. On the other side, attack, they're the only tank for XERO, but they're a very good one at that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Both of these tanks, actually quite strong tanks. Also, we got to talk about this DPS lineup. They are definitely going to be putting in so much work to try and break apart the backline of each team. So, I mean, Jaywu and Kilo, they've come up to the table and performed well. How are they going to go against the likes of Valentine and Proud, who are very, very strong DPS?
Yeah, I mean, Jaywu on the pharmacy, perhaps. Haven't seen much pharmacy this time around. Having said that, I don't think you and I have seen much Lijiang Tower either. So this is the first one that, yeah, we've been able to see. Attack going over to the Orisa. I'd love if Pepe sticked on the Reinhardt. Not surprising to see the Sigma instead, really. I suppose the real difference will be, will these Sims stay or will they switch over to Tracer or over to Genji? It seems that Jwoo will go over the Tracer, but however, Valentine looking to build that beam up, and so they should against Attack, who cannot at all block the Sim.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of those strategies you run Poker Face right now. The Bastion Sim kind of teleporting around, getting all of Poker Face moving in unison is a really strong sort of defensive attack system. It's kind of weird to say defense and attack at the same time, but it is. They defend by attacking, and currently, point goes early to Poker Face. Kilo trying to break in, but moment it's just a slow focus. Hyung actually taking down Valentine early. A huge opening pick with Attack going down. It's going to be so much harder for XERO to start entering in. Kilo taking out Simple. Does not care if they're missing a tank. They're still going to take names. And now Poker Face, they have to respect it a little bit. You know, you don't have Simple for heals, so you got to play it a little bit slower. Proud burning through Kilo. That should be enough for Poker Face to stabilize.
Oh man, Poker Face taking that very early and quick defensive position onto the objective was really hard for XERO to break through. I mean, Attack on the Orisa, it's hard against that Sim, like I was saying, and Kilo falling to some beautiful right clicks from Valentine. You do not want that, as already 50% nearly for Poker Face, and here comes the Pulse Bomb, doesn't get anything though.
Mortality managed to save Proud, but hey, it forced Poker Face back to point, so XERO could consider that a win.
Yeah, now they're coming back XERO as well with a couple of ultimates nearly with the Captive Sun, but the big one will be that Amp Matrix from Hyun. Other than that, Attack nearly there, but there's the Amp Matrix from Poker Face.
Oh, and Proud just burning right through it, not wanting to get caught out by the opposing artillery strike, Invocation Matrix. This is the artillery strike, Captive Sun as well, onto Proud. Proud managing to avoid any damage for now. A Terror Surge taking down Proud, though, so Proud is not going to live long enough. Simple getting taken down, and that is going to be XERO taking point for themselves.
The XERO did very well there, navigating Lego's sound barrier as well, because we haven't really been able to talk about it too much, but the differences with having a Lucio for Poker Face guaranteed them that first point capture, but Crescent having the Captive Sun and also just the relentless poke that Alari can do. Here comes the teleporter with the photon barrier.
Wow, right onto point as well, giving them clear room to just jump on it, burn damage through, because you can't shoot through their photon barrier. Cap going right back to Poker Face, and actually 2 picks as well. Attack trying to take this Bastion off the map, but it's just not going to lead to much, and Kilo's overclock taking down Proud, but that's about it. Pepe just got a flux to finish off that fight, as I don't think anyone's going to touch at this point.
I don't think anyone can, as it will tick over to 100 in Poker Face. They will take the first map relatively convincingly. It was unfortunate for XERO getting completely, I don't want to say outclassed, but certainly outpositioned from Poker Face with that TP, getting behind XERO, who wanted to push forward, wanted to engage quickly to build up that percentage, but it didn't work at all. Poker Face going and bamboozling them.
I'm really liking Poker Face's just defensive capabilities. They seem really good at just setting themselves up and not being broken apart. Obviously, XERO did manage to get point cap, but it took a while.
It did take some time, and now I guess next question, does Valentine stay Sim still? I mean, you know that Attack is playing the Orisa highly likely. Yes, Jwoo will be going back over to the Tracer, but they need to get some more picks this time round onto Proud, but it'll be Kilo first to fall.
Such an early opening pick for Poker Face as well. You can see them just initiate into battle now, trying to run over the supports of Hyung. Kilo has come back now from spawn, so just forcing Poker Face back to point. But with these picks, Poker Face are just going to get the early cap.
Another stagger onto Crescent, and it's pretty much the same as what we saw in that last point there with Poker Face. Like you said, very early capture, and XERO now they're going to be scratching their heads. How do we retake this against Valentine, who's just been putting down so much damage, taking out Kilo really early, and it's made it hard for Jwoo to even approach.
Kilo now hoping to enter in, but now you don't have Crescent, so it's a 4v5. Valentine just trying to zone anyone out, catch somebody with those right clicks. Jwoo now gone, Kilo getting chased down. Oh my gosh, this is just PokerFace doing what PokerFace does best, and that is running you over, absolutely steamrolling.
Crescent just respawned, Simple. They walked out of spawn and got blown up. Come on. The sun can't set that quickly, surely. XERO, they're coming up with a couple of ults for this next fight, at least. You nearly got Terror Surge and Jwoo nearly with the Pulse Bomb. Hopefully of redemption, but PokerFace, of course, because they've been taking more fights and winning. They're really close to a lot of their ults. They are actually going to pop the window to begin with.
Amplification Matrix, yep, once again, just zoning XERO out, not allowing them to peek because you're going to take so much damage. Crescent down early again, but Kilo evens it up, taking out Valentine. Artillery Strike going to make that approach onto point just a little bit more painful. The Terror Surge from attack not leading to too much. Proud going right in front of an Amplification Matrix, and Kilo's punishing them for a bar. Proud took 2 down, so it does not matter as PokerFace are still in complete control.
With 82% remaining as well. This next fight will be Rush, as Hyun's gone over to the Lucio in a desperation attempt to touch. Crescent very close to the captive Sun themselves, and it's a full wholesale switch. Attack gone over to the Doomfist to be able to touch too, but PokerFace, they've still got ultimates.
Does get the touch. Captive Sun comes out, Photon Barrier trying to block it from connecting onto anyone. Gravitic Flux catching out Crescent, and all of XERO are just completely torn apart. PokerFace taking our first map very well.
Man, even the supports of PokerFace, just they came up on the board so often. And I think a big one, especially in that second map, was just the amount of staggers that again and again from XERO. They could not get the full 5-man. They came in, I swear, Kilo got taken out 3 times in that second map alone first, and you know, you can't push in. Also Crescent as well fell too, so it's so hard for that 4v5, and that means it's also a slow build up of ultimates, and that means your ult economy is down the drain entirely. So it's that whole time XERO was fighting and clawing their way up, but PokerFace, they're not just good at winning, but they're also good at using their ult sparingly enough so that even when they did come back with that rush, you still had the Doomfists that was only 10% because of the switch, and that made Pepe's Flux the easy as anything to shut down the Kiri in the backline, and it was brutal there. But it is XERO's next map pick, of course, for the next one, so it's all up to them, as we will take a break and see what they can do about it.
And so, PokerFace are up 1, trying to get that 3-0 and keep their undefeated streak alive. It's certainly a task, but for Titans like PokerFace, it just might be doable.
Yes, I mean, PokerFace, they're looking so strong after that. XERO didn't even really get to sniff the point in that second map of Lijiang Tower, so it is XERO's pick, and it does leave a lot of questions that need to be answered. How do you want to play this? Do you want to go all in on dive, perhaps, and go to Blizzard World? Maybe we pay the price of admission, or do we go somewhere like Kings Row, which we've seen once before, twice if you count with Paul's Ball and LaFon, but that's unlikely but possible if you want to do that sort of really rush down comp. We saw a lot of attack on Orisa, and that would help on Kings Row because there's not as much high ground to take. It's sort of just really flat in the streets area, but no, instead we're going onto Midtown, which is a very tried and true, which is scary for XERO though, right? Did they not just watch what happened with PokerFace yesterday?
I mean, Pepe is so good on Sigma and Orisa that it is just one of those things that ultimately, no matter where we go, I feel like PokerFace are gonna feel confident.
They are very confident, Poker Face. I mean, when you go a 3-0 after yesterday, spirits will be high, mental will also be just as high too. But XERO, though, they've got surely they have some sort of a plan. We've seen a lot of the sim being picked time and time again on attack, so that you can go into the room on the left, or you can sort of mitigate a lot of those choke points that you get shot at. You have to leave a lot of the time wasted for cooldown management. Or do we see a bit more Zarya with the Genji? I doubt it. We haven't seen much Zarya on Midtown, and Pokerface will be the first to defend as Peppy, what a shock, will be going over to the Sigma to start off with. But Valentine on the Echo, see a little bit of Echo on the defense nowadays with Simple, especially on the Alari, which will be quite exciting. But XERO doing a lot more of the speed, a lot more rush if Hyun stays on this Lucio.
Listen, Peppy is the Sigma star here and is going to be putting in a lot of work. Jaewoo also has quite a job on their shoulder, though. Jaewoo has to be that sort of go in, take out these supports. Jaewoo is going to be critical for XERO at this point, and they don't have the bubble from the Zarya to help them initiate.
Yeah, so that's going to make it really hard. They've got to rely a lot on Kilo to get a lot of poke in before they engage. Otherwise, they will just get accretioned and shut down in about 1 second. As XERO, they're going to go very, very hard to the right here into that hallway, just waiting for those cooldowns to initiate. But in the meantime, Pokerface, they're very happy just staying where they are on that high ground.
Attack trying to throw some damage out from the other side, and actually Crescent taking down Valentine out of the sky. Great way to open up the fight, taking out Simple as well. XERO very happy with those first couple of picks, forcing Pokerface back and giving them at least a tick. It'll depend on how quickly Pokerface want to try get back into this fight.
They know they have to be careful though, because with XERO, this is where your defensive Arista will come in handy.
Crescent getting chased down. Valentine's back, focusing beam, not quite able to connect onto Crescent now, and with Proud taken out, it's going to become way harder. Hyung in such a prime position to be able to fight and heal, and it works beautifully for XERO.
The dodges from Hyun not dying there was spectacular. Simple was very, very close, but XERO taking that point A very quickly, Apara, I gotta say.
Yeah, this is definitely not the poker face we saw last night in the sense of just an unmovable mountain on defense. They certainly are being pushed back.
Well, we're actually seeing point B.
Yeah.
Hi, point B. How are you doing? As XERO wanting to take the high ground, but Pokerface, because they died as a group, they'll be able to take it pretty fast, especially with this Matrix.
Oh, taking out Kilo, and everyone from XERO respects the Amp Matrix, falls back, attack, getting chased down, but is able to just play around these corners. Captive Sun from Crescent, but Crescent's falling so low, having to hide just to survive. Blade from Jaewoo, taken out by Simple. 2 ults committed from Pokerface. Well, XERO even, sorry. And XERO not leading to much. 3 ults back.
3 ults, nothing came of it. Pokerface didn't even have to use many at all, except the amplification matrix to shut it down. So now XERO, I mean, look, we're building it up, but let's be real, XERO, they do have a lot of time, but with picks like that, Jaewoo now going back to spawn as well, that's another 20 seconds burnt off the clock. And in the meantime, Pokerface very happy to keep building up to Proud, who's now got their ult too, and it's going to look a little tough, this next one. It's almost worth XERO just trying to force out as many ultimates this time around, expecting to lose, because you have that time on the clock.
These overclocks are online though, and an overclock can be such a big ult to turn a fight. If Kilo works it correctly, they could be the playmaker, but Simple coming in with the Captive Sun from behind. Proud as overclock takes down Kilo, attacking Crescent, manages to take out 2 though, so XERO are up 1 at this moment and could try to go in for a fight. Gravitic Flux is going to make it a bit harder to approach for XERO as Jaewoo's getting completely chased down. Peppy taking them out with the punch here, and it's just getting way too hard now for XERO to approach. Captive Sun taken out of the sky. Proud was just watching you on the screen. Kilo's overclock is back, takes out 2, finds a 3rd. That's what I was talking about, Kilo. Finish off Simple and get this payload moving.
team kill all off the back of that overclock that you were talking about. But that was spectacular. PokerFace, they were thinking, oh yeah, we have so many ults, we can't possibly lose this, and Zero made them hold their water, I guess. That was absolutely crazy. PokerFace now, they're kind of scratching their heads. They're like, well, we can't lose this one. Otherwise, points lead will go to Zero. Attack, though, kind of a bit lost in the underground at the moment, waiting for the rest of their team to push up behind PokerFace. But, of course, Valentine knowing exactly where they are. But Kilo still getting the pick.
Kilo just on an absolute roll. PokerFace, though, trying to get this fight back in control. Valentine's duplicate taking out Crescent, now going to try chase down Kilo here, and they're forcing Zero all the way back. An overclock, of course, you got to use it. You're duplicating, you fight two. Oh, one. That's enough, Valentine. That's good, Valentine.
Oh my gosh, we've been seeing so many amazing plays from the Sojins today, even a duplicated one at that. PokerFace now don't have too much on the defense. So yeah, defense Zero though. They're coming up to Jaywoo's Blade. Now Jaywoo's Blade was shut down last time very, very quickly, but nothing major except an accretion, of course. So if used correctly with the rest of the team, but as you said, without the bubble, that is why it is hard for Jaywoo to get in. So with PokerFace in this high ground, a bit tricky.
Zero trying to find a way to get up there as well, but Attack just taking so much damage. Isn't able to take the attack on high ground, forced to go under the bridge just to get onto payload. Attack is all alone and really struggling right now, Pap.
You could say, yeah, look, Zero, 1 minute remaining, but have a look at all their ultimates. Oh, yep, that's right. All of them are online for this final attack. The only thing PokerFace has to really shut it down is, I guess, Captive Sun will have to be the flux, surely.
Crescent and Simple both using their Captive Suns. Will either of them be bigger than the other? Jay were able to take out Valentine during that Captive Sun, and now Kilo taking out Pepe. That should be enough to allow Zero to just get this payload right on through point B.
I don't think that PokerFace should even touch this one. Yep, no, they will not, as it will slide in pretty easily as Kilo goes forward even more. Does get taken out by Proud, but damage is already done as Lego has fallen. Hang on a second, Proud gone now too. Zero, they can keep pushing up.
These picks are crucial as well because it gives them so much space to allow this payload to keep moving and force PokerFace to play on this back behind defense.
They do not want to give this much space to the cart, but they're almost forced to, right? As the fire engine already halfway through, about to round that second corner. Jaywoo still holding onto that blade and attack with the Terror Surge. So Zero didn't even have to use all their ultimates to take it. PokerFace, however, they've just popped Amplification Matrix.
Proud trying to take Crescent out from that high ground. Crescent in behind you is kind of cheeky there. Ultimately, gonna have to fall back to the rest of the team, and it is just one of those slow fights. Who's gonna find that first pit?
Is it Kilo? Is it Proud? No, it's Simple onto Jaywoo.
And now Proud popping the overclock, taking out two. Gotta try and chase down Hyug as well, finds them. Proud, just so good.
Not to be outdone by Kilo's 4K. Proud just gets one of their own. Oh man, that's another overclock to win them the fight. And now you're at 30 seconds remaining. One more fight for Zero to get it all the way through. And Jaywoo still has not popped this blade after a good 3 minutes here. So really, if you are Zero, you're wanting Jaywoo to pop, as it seems like a Valentine over onto the Alari, but instantly blown up.
Yeah, that really did not exist for very long, and now Jaywoo's blade also struggling to exist. Flux coming out from Pepe, hoping to make it a big one. The Captive Sun onto Pepe, though. They're taking a lot of damage. Simple looking for it, managing to find it onto attack, wanting to keep Pepe alive, but there's an Amplification Matrix. Valentine now falling low as well. Kilo wanting to get into this fight, gets caught by a bunch of sticky bombs. Attack managing to take Valentine out during it though. Kilo now, this payload back in control for Zero in overtime.
And PokerFace put so much into that. The Flux got no value, neither did the Captive Sun, and Valentine switching over to a last second Torbjorn too. But it will be Lego with the Amp Matrix for this final one. Zero, they actually don't have anything. It's going to be a very dry fight for them.
Proud really wanting to get a couple of good quick picks to ensure that the payload stops, and everyone actually got off. Jaywoo was trying to get aggressive, and Kilo slid away because they were taking too much damage.
Yeah, I think they were really hoping for attack to be able to stay on, but they got taken out by Valentine's Torbjorn there towards the very end. That is a C9 that you do not want. However, it was always going to be very tricky just to stay on the carts. It feels a little bit mean to say C9 because there was an Amp Matrix right in their face. Here comes a Kilo right in your face with that overclock. Man, we've seen some incredible Sojourn plays, haven't we, Opa?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a reason I said these overclocks can completely turn a fight, and that's because both these Sojourns are just so talented at, clicking heads and just clicking the enemies in general.
Playing the Overwatch. I mean, both of these players have had player of the matches in the past, and for good reason. Their Sojourns are both absolutely brutal. However, if what we're seeing is to be believed, we might not see a Sojourn from PokerFace, as they will be going over to the Bastion, like we saw a lot of yesterday. But XERO sticking to the more cookie cutter defense that we usually see on Midtown, with Jaywoo gone off of the Genji, now onto the Echo for those sticky bombs and the focusing beam. But PokerFace, they're bringing in Simple on the Ana. We don't really see Anas very often, because usually you kind of have to almost leave them in a backline, but because there's nothing to cleanse or nothing to remove the anti-nade, could be big. However, Simple, I'm getting bamboozled again as they've gone back last second. Valentine, though, still with the teleporter, as they'll be looking to go into the little house. They're renting the apartment again.
Everyone loves to rent out this apartment. It's a nice, safe space for a little bit there. You can see some artwork, appreciate the decor of this room, but also take a lot of damage reduction with just all your natural protection as XERO. Just figuring out how we're going to go in against them. Now look at that TP right onto the high ground of that train. It's going to be Proud left alone in the apartment, trying to find a target. A straggler all alone. It's going to be Crescent falling first. Jaywoo taken out now. Proud does follow, but it looks like PokerFace are setting themselves up nicely to get a quick pick. Jaywoo not going to let it happen. Attack as well. All of a sudden, XERO completely break apart PokerFace's attack.
They have, and now with attack against the wall, this attack from PokerFace is all but complete, as the last straggler is somewhere behind them. It will be the Alari of Crescent, but they're not going to be around for much longer. As, yeah, the attack, then, are they? Oh, wait, no, I got completely bad back. I thought that XERO was attacking. No, they're back on it.
Yeah, PokerFace back in it. They kind of just went on a whole map tour, trying to see all the sites. Everyone went everywhere, and now finally back on the point, remembering what's happening. Attack, taking down Simple. Jaywoo's duplicate, putting a lot of pain onto Proud, throwing some sticky bombs out, not quite confirming the kill. Peppy falling so low, not able to survive on that point. Attack Sigma, able to hold strong for now. Proud's gonna fall, and XERO shut down the little bit of clown fiesta that PokerFace threw out there.
I was like, oh yeah, look, this is normal. PokerFace will be capped. No one was really there. Everyone was out on their own, pretty much little mini fights there. And because of that, they only really got one tick out of that. PokerFace looking for their second one here, but XERO, they're coming up with almost every single ult except for Jaywoo's. But here comes the Photon Barrier from PokerFace to begin with.
Attack, trying to find a good gravitic flux through that Photon Barrier, manages to catch out Simple. The Immortality's not gonna save them. Valentine hoping to get a little bit of revenge onto Attack now, as everyone's getting so aggressive. The Captive Son from Crescent, those helping out. Peppy, Terra Surge in the Amplification Matrix, so you are gonna fall because of how much damage there is, and XERO not giving PokerFace an inch.
Yeah, PokerFace are struggling right now. You've got 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining on the clock for you, and because PokerFace's comp is, yes, you got the teleporter, but it's still a little bit slow if you want to go through the apartment or through the train. So really, this is the last and final fight, as they will be TPing over to the hallway, leaving Pepe in the middle just to soak up a little bit of damage and build up Simple's Amp Matrix. But Kilos still has that overclock, and the overclocks have been enormous thus far, as PokerFace forced to wait. 40 seconds remaining, and XERO, they could take Midtown.
PokerFace really hoping this fight goes their way, but Kilo's overclock is online. That's a little bit scary. Hoping to dodge these artillery strikes though from Proud, manages to survive, and that overclock doesn't lead to too much thanks to just that natural cover being inside the lower house here. Amplification matrix from PokerFace is just getting forced right out. Everyone's just pressing W. Crescent and Attack are doing all the work there. That Gravitic Flux taking down Simple, and PokerFace's hopes of going with an undefeated season is falling away as XERO managed to shut them down in Midtown.
It's over for PokerFace's perfect sweep of this series and this year. Possibly for the first time, but no, XERO, we've said it before, they're not to be counted out for. They have done really, really well in this series so far. They've remained undefeated. It's just that they've had a little bit more trials and tribulations against the likes of FM, but yeah, we're seeing it here, why they are second seed in their group.
Yeah, XERO finally putting on a bit of a performance, showing that PokerFace is not as invincible as they were looking. Both Dreamers and PokerFace managing to lose a map now. The question is, are XERO going to be able to continue that momentum and break PokerFace apart? Because, of course, PokerFace, they still want to win this. They want to get that #1 seeding.
Well, guess what map's next? Flashpoint. It's
Yeah.
going to be Flashpoint. And it is PokerFace's choice as well. So that's going to be hard for XERO. XERO don't have a great track record on Flashpoint. That's how FM started their turnaround. That's how a lot of people started to turn themselves around, and near a reverse sweep just wasn't to be most of the time. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. How will XERO go against PokerFace's pick of a Flashpoint? We'll be right back.
XERO have warmed up and now are looking to try and take the series by storm. Of course, it's 1-1 at the moment, so technically it's anyone's game, and moving into Flashpoint, this is the map where the mighty can fall, Pap, so I'm very excited to see what way this goes.
It's honestly anyone's game at this point in time, and yes, there's a bit of a difference between Flashpoints, but there's only 2 Flashpoint maps. So that means both teams have exceptional experience on both of these maps. So no matter what you pick, it's pretty much even. It's really just what are they more comfortable in picking in terms of the comps, and what comps work best on which map. We've talked about it time and time again, but for example, like you pick Savasa if you want a lot of that, like Milgaru picked it because they're incredible ball players. Otherwise, you pick New Junk City if you want that more brawly, the more Zarya comp, and it will be New Junk City to start us off with. And I don't know, I haven't actually looked at any subs at the moment, Opa, but it would not surprise me if Muse comes in right now. Muse is an incredible Zarya player. We see them a lot on these kind of maps, and man, can they just pick it up wherever PokerFace has left off and sweep through, especially with the help of the Genji.
Muse is in, so Muse is going to come in, and also Finale. So 2 subs for PokerFace. Proud is out, Pepe is out. And I think that makes sense. New Junk City is a little bit more brawly. Muse is known to run a few more of those brawl type heroes, especially the Junker Queen. We've seen Muse on Junker Queen a fair bit here. So certainly makes sense having those subs.
Yes, and Finale is an incredible DPS player, especially hit scan. That's why you'd bring them in, and seeing them on the Soldier, it wouldn't surprise me if they switch over to this Soldier in the last second, but if they don't, Soldier has been seeing a little bit of picks here and there, but yeah, there you go. That does not surprise me at all. Valentine over to the Genji, of course, with the help of Muse. We'll be hoping to get those really, really quick and early picks. Jaywu, however, going over to the Sim, doubtful that will stay, as they will go over to the Tracer, which they're liking a lot, actually. Didn't really work out too well in Lijiang Tower, but hey, this is Flashpoint, a lot more areas to flank. See how it goes.
Valentine just looking for a way to approach at the moment. This time has the bubbles available, so can play a little bit more of an aggressive play style. Finale getting chased, Crescent getting chased down by Finale. Jwoo, though, does even it up, taking out Lego. Kilo's disruptor shot finding too. XERO in control now, will get Arena early.
Man, that was so much healing that Hyun had to do an attack to keep them alive through all that damage, and it worked out. Kilo is playing a brutal Sojin at the moment as PokerFace sent packing for the first one. XERO now up to that 20% nearly and counting as they're looking to re-engage here, PokerFace, but how they do so is up to Valentine, really. Who do they want to go in on? It seems like Kilo, but they can just sort of go away very quickly.
Yeah, Kilo has this thing called sliding that just gets you out of the fight. Just like that. There we go, Valentine. No chasing right now. And Finale's actually taken down. No Sojin to match Kilo at this moment. Muse trying to chase somebody down. Valentine's fallen so low, though. So this attack from PokerFace is just falling apart.
Lego just fell to bits there against Jwoo. They went forward without Muse and without Valentine, and now XERO, I dare say it, I think they're going to get the first cap. I don't think PokerFace should really take this, to be honest, because it's going to be really rushed. You've got the Amp Matrix as well to focus on. There's no way. PokerFace, you got to go to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to hope the spawns just work out in your favor for whatever map comes next, as it looks like PokerFace do have that closer cap at the moment as we're heading towards Refinery, but actually XERO are right there too. Never mind, it looked like it was going to be the Ducks, but actually going to Refinery.
You still have the speed boost from PokerFace though. Lego will get their team about the same time. However, stopping and shooting like this, it's good for the pressure, but XERO should at least be able to take the high ground quickly, especially attack with that Terror Surge, but PokerFace actually will be the first one to touch.
Terror Surge coming out onto Muse. It's going to take out Finale as well. 2 for attack right there. Blade from Valentine hoping to turn the tables back into PokerFace's favor. They want the winning deck of cards. Oh, they want the whole deck at this point. They want to get it, and they do manage to get Refinery.
I think that's cheating, Aparo. I don't think that's allowed in poker.
That's why I don't get let into poker games anymore.
Aparo, down. Put the deck down now. Oh, but like, there's good cards in there, and that's exactly what PokerFace have. They still have good cards. They're coming up with the grab. They've also got the sound barrier for this next fight too. That will negate Crescent right now, who've come in. Mr. Captive Sun though.
Bit of a devastating start for XERO. Sound barrier now going to let PokerFace start pushing in, breaking apart this attack from XERO, but nobody is falling. Kilo with the overclock, trying to get in from behind, but Finale's overclock just a little bit bigger there. Finale and Valentine doing the work to ensure that Refinery is going their way.
Yeah, okay. PokerFace have Refinery. XERO, they just have to do what happened to PokerFace last. Let this one go, see where, and just hope that the spawns are better for XERO. But PokerFace with that Lucio, you can see that even if it's not quite there, they can still speed, and oh, that's brutal for XERO. However, if they can get there fast enough, their back is turned, PokerFace. They're constantly worried about where their opponents are, but with Muse with the grab for this next fight and nothing to really stop it except an immortality field here, it's all about how much damage can be put into it.
Yeah, PokerFace are going to have early access to the Ducks. As you can see, they can play up on this bridge now here, but XERO, they do have quite a few lines of entry. You know, they can get all around. Valentine, though, not going to let Kilo try go on that cheeky flank. Actually going to try chase them down with the help of Lego. Take out that immortality, but Valentine took a bit of damage. Amplification Matrix even thrown out there, so Kilo is going to take down Valentine. Simple Force as well to Jwoo. Finale falling so low, manages to jump away. Jwoo not going to chase them down because Crescent can do all the work, and then all of a sudden, XERO is starting to move it back into their favor here. Jwoo has to recall to survive. Muse falling low. Lego, the only hope to keep them alive as Muse is on 1 HP in a dream right now. They managed to take out Kilo, but Jwoo was still there, and XERO win our first fight for the Ducks.
And they survived that grab as well that we were talking about before. And this is where it puts XERO in a really crucial and good spot. Pulse Bomb missed, but Amp Matrix is out for Simple, but can they put any damage through, as it seems to be Crescent, the one on the high ground at the moment, not allowing PokerFace to push on.
Another Captive Sun got used as well, so 2 ults from XERO, not quite affecting PokerFace in any ways. Terror Surge combated by a sound barrier, now a blade from Valentine as well. Gonna take out Crescent, now chasing down Hyon. Hyon is just running, terrified. The monster is chasing them. That was a horror movie if I've ever seen one. And PokerFace still hoping to get this point, but Kilo is still there.
God.
Takes out 2, uses bubbles, not gonna keep them alive long enough. Muse does find 2, and Finale is still here, just trying to dance around attacks for damage. It is so low on either side, but the javelin spin attack takes it and confirms the ducks for XERO.
29 HP. I think PokerFace want to keep going though. Lego's on the high ground, does fall a little bit low. I don't know if you want to. There's last second touch. Okay, PokerFace.
Lego, yeah, managing to get that overtime for the Ducks. Might be able to find some kind of hope, but with Lego getting taken down, Valentine now forced to touch. Bubble burnt away. Valentine falling so low. Crescent taking 2, gets the Ducks, and now the remaining stragglers of PokerFace are gonna be chased down.
Yeah, no one on either side had ultimates for that fight. So it helped both teams really to build up those ultimates. XERO as well as PokerFace, as now they are closer to that overclock. Simple as well, back with the Amp Matrix. And PokerFace have a significant lead now over XERO for this next point.
Junkyard, gonna be early presence from PokerFace. However, once again, we saw that XERO doesn't care if PokerFace gets there first. Jwoo has this pulse bomb, looking to ult onto anybody from PokerFace and take a early fight here, as point is unlocking to PokerFace. They will get first cap. How is XERO going to enter in?
Yeah, XERO just kind of on the high ground, just looking for that poke like they did before in Ducks, but at the moment haven't found anything too significant. Flat Valentine falling quite low. Here's the Captive Sun to begin.
Crescent really wanting a Captive Sun to work out. It's going to lead to at least Lego falling. There are 2 from PokerFace taken out of this fight at the moment, and now Jwoo's Pulse Bomb isn't even needed to be able to win this fight. They have the point back. Terror Surge thrown out. Finale does take Crescent down in the mix of it all, but ultimately XERO are in full control again and putting themselves in a good position to potentially win our flashpoint.
Yeah, PokerFace, that was a rude pulse bomb onto Valentine there, but PokerFace, they want to play together, they want to play around their Zarya, whereas XERO, they don't need to do that. They don't need to play around their tank. Attacks like just the battle cattle that can survive anything and everything thrown at them, so that allows XERO to poke from so many different angles. However, if this Lucio is to be believed, you can just chase him down.
Crescent gone first. Kilo follows. XERO now down 2 players, and PokerFace really do not want to give up this point. Valentine taking down Hyun, now just jumping on top of attack, and PokerFace will get this back. They cannot lose this point.
No, they have to hold on to it now, pretty much the whole way, right? It ticks up so much faster than what we see on Control, but it's pretty scary stuff if you are PokerFace, because none other than Kilo has their overclock for this next one. And PokerFace, however, they were able to build up some pretty good ones. Valentine with the blade, and with the help of Muse's bubbles, could get, well, needs to get, should I say, for their team, a lot of elims in this next one.
Lego just trying to slow down XERO at the moment. You know, XERO have kind of been running over everyone, but Kilo coming from the side, popping the overclock. Kilo's overclocks have been big. Can it happen again? Valentine has this blade, looking to chase down Crescent. The immortality saves Crescent, at least for now, as Crescent is getting completely chased down, but Valentine not getting the value from the blade as needed. Simple did take out attack though, so no tank for XERO. XERO couldn't even touch. Didn't manage to get there on time, so all of a sudden, PokerFace have put us 2-2. We're going to our last point, which is going to be bomb flats here, Pat.
Oh man, and PokerFace managed to eke out a win there. Hyun running towards the next objective, but really I think they need to run towards the rest of their team here so not to get picked off. However, PokerFace, they did lose a couple of members here, so don't have to worry too much. XERO coming into this last objective with some really good ultimates. The Terror Surge will help to lock everyone up, make sure everyone uses their bubbles, as it doesn't get a pick, but significantly damages them.
Yeah, Simple fell so low. Captive Sun, however, making it hard for Finale to confidently use their overclock, and actually also took out Lego here. Finale finds Crescent, one support down from each side at the moment, and Zero's going to use it to their advantage, it seems, as Finale falls. Simple's gone as well. Muse falling so low, and Zero get our first fight win.
Yeah, Jaewoo is playing a really mean Tracer right now, just waiting like a shark for blood. Anytime anyone's bleeding just a little bit, pounces on to Pokerface, and that's what splits them up. Like I said, they want to be together, but as soon as Zero can just make one of the swimmers go a little bit further away than the rest of the pack, something like this might happen. Simple, very, very close to falling there, just gets out with their life, which is a good thing too for Pokerface, as he has the Amp Matrix.
And we're entering into this last fight territory as well, so losing anyone is just a dangerous territory for Pokerface. Muse falling so low, the Javelin pushing them around. Finale getting completely chased down. Kilo caught into a grab though, but it's attack on the board. Valentine does manage to take Kilo out, but Zero are just in complete control, and all of a sudden, our flashpoint goes to Zero. They're up 2-1 now.
Oh man, what looked like an absolute clean sweep from Pokerface throughout this entire series has quickly turned into a match point to their opponents. They cannot seem to get on top of Zero right now. Flashpoint, it was a close one though. It was 3-2 across the board, and that was also, keep in mind, that was Pokerface's pick as well for the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
They wanted to go on Junkertown. They know, New Junk City. They know how good Muse can be on that Zarya, but it just didn't work. It did not work for them. They were all together. They'd get split off. They'd get picked off from an incredible attack. And Jaewoo and Kilo played exceptionally well from all these different angles that just overwhelmed Pokerface.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Pokerface were just feeling completely uncomfortable there, not knowing how to approach these fights because there was so much damage coming out, especially from Jaewoo there. So at this point, Pokerface are looking like they may not be sitting in the top seed. I mean, I've already lied and messed up my maths, but I think if my maths is right, and if Zero win this next map, they have +8, I think, and Pokerface will be +7, which means Zero, if my math is correct, could be coming out on top. I really want to clarify that. We're going to find out if my math is correct after a quick break, or Pokerface can come back. Don't
get a calculator for a par. We'll be right back.
Pokerface are crumbling at this point, as it really seems like Zero might be the team to take it as we move into push. We'll see whether Pokerface are able to come out on top. You having fun over there with your camera, Pat?
I saw what's going on. It was so bad. It was so fuzzy. Almost as fuzzy as your maths. But no, as we go into potentially the last map, Zero looking really strong at the moment. I mean, Pokerface, they held their deck of cards. They had a straight for on control, a straight run through, really. But then all of a sudden, the river came out in poker, and it was like, oh my goodness, Zero, they're coming up with a flush. And it's ever since then, it's been in Zero's favor.
Yeah, Zero are looking good at the moment. Pokerface are gonna have to figure something out, and moving into our next map, this could be the decision that turns the fight into Pokerface's favor. Esperanza, it's a very solid push map, you know, it's arguably what a lot of people's favorite push map, and I think it is a strong choice for Pokerface.
Strong choice for poker. We've seen a lot of Esperanza, especially in a little bit of APAC, but also in the past when Winston was really prevalent, and when even Ball was really prevalent too. So, what do they want to play here, Pokerface? This is their final chance to not get knocked down.
Yeah, I mean, this is hitting dire straits at this point. Pokerface really wanting to keep it going, and it sounds like at the moment there are no subs, so Muse is still in at the moment. It sounds like they're not wanting to bring Pepe back. They have confidence in Muse.
Yes, they have confidence in Do they play Zarya? I suppose. I mean, you wouldn't really want Pepe if that's if, of course, they wanted the Sigma. It's not to say they can't play Orisa. So I'm seeing that it's like, yes, okay, they want to keep the Zar going, but XERO, they're loving this Orisa at the moment, and it's working. It's working so well. We've seen a lot of, is Orisa better right now, or is Zarya better right now? But it's really down to how well can the DPS open up with the space provided from their tanks, and Zarya really just opens up space with the Genji and Valentine, but time and time again has been Jaywood in the back line, and then Kilo in the front, just landing those headshots and completely tearing apart POKER.
Now Valentine trying to get really far up early, hoping to catch someone out like Kilo, but Valentine's the first one taking all the damage, manages to get bubbled to survive for now. Kilo sliding away. Valentine caught in an uncomfortable position, but the rest of PokerFace are there to come help, apart from Finale, as Jaywu has executed them. Attack taken down, though. These picks are going back and forth with that simple falling from the sky. It does look like XERO might be able to get this into control.
What the heck? In the backline has not been shut down, have they, at all? Because of that, just the free reign that Jaywu found themselves in, as Philip starts the bot starts to get pushed into PokerFace's territory rather quickly. Attack did fall, but honestly, by the time PokerFace can get all of their troops back together, Attack, they'll be back on the high ground. Will be Crescent and Hyun looking for their first pick, as Finale taking a little bit of an off angle to see if they can get that railgun charged up and for a first pick, but point in time, XERO very happy.
Valentine really wanted to take Kilo out, but man, that power slide is just too good at the moment. Captive Sun from Crescent, not gonna, well, it is gonna lead to a bit. Lego and Finale taken down. Valentine simple following. PokerFace are in complete shambles at the moment.
What's going on? They just can't pick themselves back up. They've done they tried to do a special card trick, dropped all their cards on the ground, and still scrambling to pick them all back up. I mean, Finale now is like, stuff it. You know what? I'm gonna play Tracer too. Jaywoo's Tracer's been such a menace. But Finale now will have to work in tandem with Valentine, but there's only so many bubbles that Muse can bring out to protect these flankers at the moment, though. Finale, there you go, got their counterpart Jaywu off on at least something going in their favor at this point in time.
XERO are going to completely respect that pick as well and fall back, but they just baited them into their territory. The amplification matrix came out. That Kitsune Rush, however, is going to allow PokerFace to stay in control for now. Muse able to find two, and Attack will fall too.
But during that whole time as well, XERO did manage to get first cap. So that means that XERO, they'll be able to recontest rather quickly. The good thing though, PokerFace only had to use the Kitsune Rush to take that fight away from XERO, as they still got the blade. Also, Muse managed to hold on to grab, and you're pretty happy. XERO used a lot of ult that came up empty really, but Kilo with that overclock. We've seen it time and time again, but Kilo can just turn fight solo.
Oh yeah, Kilo could come up big here at the moment. This blade completely taken out. Valentine, not like this. Simple, starting to feel fall low as well. Kilo putting in so much work. Muse does find Hyung, however, but Kilo does not care. They've got the bot moving, and PokerFace are going to have to play from behind.
They will, and they didn't get front spawns either, so this will give a lot of territory push into Poker's area, and XERO looking really strong right now. However, Muse, they just use grab. They didn't get anything for us. Oh, they got Kilo.
Kilo falls, Crescent
okay, they got Kilo.
Follows. Yeah, there we go. All of a sudden, PokerFace finally going back, all the way back to where the bot is living, and Jaywu is gone too, so... I mean, I didn't love it for PokerFace, but it worked out.
At least they got Philip back in control, but XERO that whole time managed to push Philip all the way back. So that allows, of course, for that front spawn to be activated. As PokerFace, they're kind of left scratching their heads for this next engagement, as they don't have anything.
Finale now hoping to just push XERO back a little bit, go onto a flank and find some way to get some space, allow this bot to keep moving. Kilo, though, has control of this high ground, can just freely start to shoot out. Jay-Woo looking for the pulse bomb. Valentine falling low. XERO really just holding strong at the moment as the captive sun's going to come out. Lucio gets caught, but Lego has not fallen yet. Finale going to be the first one taken down. Crescent now falling back to the rest of their team, but cannot survive. Muse burns through them. Terror Surge from attack finishes off Valentine, and now Kilo's in control again. XERO's DPS duo are just on fire.
They consistently are able to pop off. We were talking about Kilo's overclock, the last fight. What are they on? 80% to their next one. That is how much damage Kilo is putting down. That is how many kills that they've managed to pick up as well. That just means that it makes it so easy for XERO to turn these fights. And PokerFace now, at least they're coming up with something for this next one, but I mean, Philip is so much further, and they are respecting it, though. They're respecting Muse pushing in, but they're just kind of waiting their chance to attack at the moment.
Jay-Woo's pulse bomb ready to land onto any target. Simple doesn't get caught out as Muse was able to finish off Jay-Woo. Kilo, though, overclocking and taking out Valentine, trying to find their next target, which is going to be the Lucio. Sound barrier from Lego, though, keeping them alive for now. Kilo getting chased down, Finale taken out. Lego following through. The picks are going back and forth, but PokerFace are ultimately finally coming back. Will they be able to get a little bit further of a push this time as Jay-Woo's back in the fight now? Attack still holding strong. PokerFace slowly but surely breaking apart XERO, but it took so long.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just time, really, that XERO's looking to burn off, and that was perfect. It burnt off a lot. It also burnt off sound barrier for PokerFace, but they have 4 ultimates that they're coming back with. You wouldn't want to use all of them at the same time here, but Kilo not having overclock, that gives Valentine a little bit of a sigh of relief that it won't be shut down quite so easily, as it is directly on Kilo this time round. They're like, no, you going down.
I mean, what a good pick as well. We've seen how good Kilo can be, sure. Jay-Woo does take Valentine out here, but it is just going to be a harder fight, especially now that their Kitsune Rush is out to help Muse. Lego did get taken out. Jay-Woo trying to take down their Tracer counterpart of Finale, but decides to not take the fight just yet. Terror Surge onto Muse is able to bubble the grab, took out Crescent as well. These fights have been so scrappy back and forth, and ultimately, this time it looks like XERO should be the winners of this fight.
That was a strange aggressive play, should I say, from Valentine there. Got nothing except being picked off, and now PokerFace, they have to just continuously back up here.
Muse is gonna take that pulse bomb, and Simple joins in too for the pulse bomb, and this bot will continue on for XERO.
And that's no front spawn either for 3 members of PokerFace. That will buy XERO a lot of time here to push on through. Kilo made a switch over to the 76, actually. I haven't pointed that one out yet. Very close to the tack visor. Finale very cheekily in the backline. Does not want to get picked off right now. Forced to recall very early here. Apara, if they fall here, that is brutal. Finale's gone.
PokerFace are not happy with that pick. It's so much harder for PokerFace to try and take fights. Your Trace is no longer available to assist. And look, Valentine is just struggling to do any damage to attack. This bot is still moving as well as Jay-Woo can just sort of teleport onto that point. Crescent in attack, chase down Valentine without Genji. Now it's Finale feeling that pressure as Genji's gone. That pulse bomb not gonna take Kilo out. The tech visor still online thanks to a really good immortality. Muse though in from behind takes down Hyung, hoping to bring a little bit of pain onto attack. Jay-Woo also getting chased down. PokerFace are still in this, but with a minute 20 on the clock, it is really getting difficult.
Now, look, Euphoria in the past, they have shown us that even with such a large deficit of where the barrier is for them, they did manage to bring it back and claim the win. PokerFace, though, they only have a minute to do it, whereas Euphoria had 8. So this is going to be really tough. This is practically final fight, really, for PokerFace, as Philip is forced to get really, really deep. Jay-Woo now with another Tracer 1v1. They do disrespect each other, falling right back, but XERO, have both of their support ults. It's going to be popped very quickly.
That's such a big Captive Sun finale falls. There goes Simple. Crescent bringing out the sunshine today. Muse may have shut it down, but that is XERO getting into a very potential series win here now. Is 25 seconds left, Pat.
I'm surprised they're bothering to push the bot back, really. Now it's going to be a little bit easier for PokerFace to be able to touch, but that's not to say XERO don't have anything to negate what PokerFace throws at them. You still have the Terra Surge, you have that Pulse Bomb, and JWoo's Pulse Bombs have been so much cleaner these last couple of maps than before, but uses the grab is the only saving grace to keep PokerFace into the series and keep them from getting knocked down into the second seed.
Muse was falling so low. Valentine's Blade fighting too, though. This could open it up to allow the bot move for PokerFace, and they need to do this push in overtime, Pat. They're probably going to have at least 2 to 3 fights.
At least 2. I mean, look, Philip, he's already had a good scratch of his back, so they won't have to deal with that. They don't have to deal with that 8-second deficit of a little bit of a stretch. Muse still able to keep that Graviton Surge for this fight. Finale, though, switched back over to the Sojourn, does not have Overclock. Kilo also back on that Sojourn, neither with the Overclock, but JWoo in attack still kept those ultimates we were talking about earlier as PokerFace inching closer and closer. XERO, they're kind of just leaving to this this fight to the last minute as they are taking high ground.
A Terra Surge from attack could be huge. JWoo hoping to land a big Pulse Bomb. Finale and Similar both take it down. Pulse Bomb now onto Muse. Muse is gone. The bot is in XERO's favor, and so is the series as XERO take down our leaders of Group A. They've won, Pat.
They looked so strong, PokerFace, but XERO, they absolutely crushed it in the end. They significantly outplayed them towards the end. It felt like PokerFace were always on the back foot. They never got the read onto XERO. XERO were just able to poke them down, make them very uncomfortable with whatever engagement that PokerFace tried to throw at XERO and never worked. And XERO are your winners and will be at the top of Group A.
Man, on paper, we did not see this coming. Obviously, XERO are such talented players and are able to take down these titans of PokerFace when, you know, they, like, to talk about where XERO sat, they nearly got reverse swept by FM. So the fact that they're able to so I want to say easily, it felt quite easy after that first match.
You know what? It felt like the mountain just had escalators along the side. You know, like it was a little bit of a hike to begin with. They did drop a map. They maybe tripped over a couple of rocks, and then all of a sudden, Kilo popped off, created what felt like just an escalator all the way to the top to victory. PokerFace, they did not have an answer to XERO, but especially to Kilo.
Pap, I think the right term is chair lifts or ski lifts there, because they definitely
that's true. Mountains and all of that. I was like, anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but man, Kilo absolutely just landed every shot. When you ever saw Kilo with an overclock, you knew that they were going to turn the fight around, shutting down ults left, right, and center, getting 4Ks like it was, I don't know, easy as pie.
Nothing.
Even though pie's not very easy to cook. Maybe easy as toast.
I mean, nothing's easy to cook for me, so I definitely can understand that statement. But yeah, Kilo absolutely deserves our player of the match. I feel like they were a big reason why XERO were able to take down PokerFace, and in what could be argued quite an upset there. XERO definitely was the team to be able to take down PokerFace, if any, there. And now, you know, they put themselves in some really comfortable positions for the playoffs there. I'm fairly confident my maths is correct and XERO is now the #1 seed. But I could get told by the producers I'm wrong. I don't know maths, any of that. I
pulled out the calculator and a break, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man.
But yeah, that really solidified who the best team in Group A is, and it looks like it's XERO at the moment.
It did. It's like XERO were able to, I think, I said it before, but I just want to say it again, just make PokerFace uncomfortable in whatever
Yeah.
picks they went. And even when PokerFace tried to adapt, we saw some Tracer, from Finale. And okay, it got on top of Jwoo. It made Jwoo's Tracer a little bit harder to enter the backline, but that just left Kilo pretty much for free, taking out picks, whether they were on the 76, whether they were, of course, on the Sojin that we saw them on a lot. And yeah, attacks Orisa. We were like, Muse is one player of the match. She's a fantastic tank in their own right, but there wasn't anything to be done.
And so with that, we're going to take a quick wee break. We'll be back with our next match, J&GK versus Dreamers, so don't go anywhere.